What's up YouTube? Wheeler here. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can run the Legion of Boom Seattle Seahawks defense in Madden 26. I've been attempting to recreate this defense in Madden for a little while now, but prior to Madden 26, Madden didn't have enough features to make it achievable. But over the past few years, they've added defensive shells and some new fronts that make it possible to replicate most of the defensive coverages the Seattle Seahawks actually ran during the Legion of Boom years. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. This video will have three main sections. I'm going to start by going over some basic theory of the fronts the Seahawks use, along with some techniques they employ to minimize the weaknesses of their signature cover 3 defense. Next, I'm going to go over their base personnel defense. I'll show the game film of their various plays, and I'll show you how to replicate it in Madden. Lastly, I'll go over their nickel and dime personnel defense. I'll show the game film, and then I'll replicate it in Madden. As a bit of a disclaimer, I'm not going to go over everything that they run. There's some nickel 3-3 personnel defense that they run, along with some boss front stuff they run so infrequently that I don't think it's worth covering. Similarly, there's some pressures that they run, which you theoretically can recreate in Madden, but it would take a lot of adjustments and simply wouldn't be practical to attempt to recreate it. All of the coverages I'll go over can be easily set up in 3 adjustments or less and can be practically run in games versus your friends or against the computer. With that said, let's get into the theory. Okay, so I wanted to start off the theory section by talking about some fronts. So the first front that we have here is just the 4-3 over stack front. This is just your standard over. You've got the 1 tech aligned away from the run strength. You've got the 3 tech aligned to the run strength. Next front we have here is the opposite of the over front, which is the under front. You've got the 1 tech to the run strength, 3 tech away. And you'll notice there's a down linebacker to the run strength. That's important because we have a true 5 technique. If that down linebacker wasn't there, we'd have a soft edge, which we don't want in run defense. So we have a down linebacker there. Next front we have here is the tough front. This is basically a variation of the over front. Here you'll notice the 1 tech aligned away from the run strength, and we have a down linebacker as well as a strong safety aligned on the LOS here. And this is a way to line up 2 compression sets. I'm gonna hop in Madden and showcase this. If I pick a play here, I'm going to start by picking a compression set. So for a true compression set, this is basically how it would align. And the advantage of this is it's easier to stop outside breaking runs and stretch runs that you would normally see from sets like this. But there are alignment checks that need to be made to spread sets. And the easiest way to illustrate this is with a common double set. What we have here is we have an attached tight end to the run strength as well as a slot away from the run strength. So to the run strength, it's acceptable alignment for this strong safety here to be cheating in the box like this. What would not be acceptable is for this linebacker to do the same. Because if that slot receiver were to run a quick out, this guy would be out leveraged to the flat. And if you ever see this to a slot set, that should be a tell to the offense that this guy is not buzzing to the flat. He has help there, right? So that means he's probably either blitzing, he could be in a hook zone, and someone else is blitzing, or he has help to the flat. So it could be a combination of all 3 of these things. But if that guy's aligned like this, he's most likely not buzzing to the flat. He has to be head up so as not to get out leveraged. So that's the kind of the alignment rules. With the tough front, they can align like that to compression, like where there's multiple receiving threats compressed. For example, a wing set, right? Bunch is acceptable too. But to any set with a slot, so spread, trips, etc. They've gotta respect the split of the receivers or tight end, whoever the receiving threat is. So second to last front we have here is the solid front. They call this load front. It's basically a variation of the over front. You've got a one tech away from the run strength, but you'll notice there's a down linebacker to the run strength. So you've got your solid front there. Last front we have is what they call the jam front. This is your true 3-4 odd. You've got a true zero tech nose tackle here. This is a nice front for blitz disguise. You can disguise a lot of pressures here. They also run a drop 8 cover 3 out of this. They'll drop both edge players into coverage. So this is a very nice front for pressure disguise. They run a lot of pressures out of this. Last thing I wanted to do was talk about some terminology. So the first term I'll cover here is read. This is a key for cornerbacks. It's typical to see it for the corner assigned to the X receiver in 3x1 sets. This is basically what some coaches call mod technique, man on outside and deep routes. This corner has the freedom to play that receiver man to man, depending on the route he runs. So if he runs a shallow or a now slant, he'll probably just let that go, right, and let the zone defenders take care of that. But if he runs a vertical, if he runs a post, if he runs a dig, etc., he can play that man to man at his discretion. The next technique we'll talk about here is zebra. This is yet again a technique for corners. For true zone cover 3, this is for true zone cover 3. This is a midpoint technique they can play in response to vertical routes from slot sets. So you'll notice in this double set, the corner here is tagged with the zebra technique. If both those receivers run verts, he can apex the routes so as to alleviate the seam pressure on the free safety as he's rotating to the post. The last technique we'll talk about here is soft sky. This kind of works in combination with read tech a lot of times, and this is basically a way of playing rip liz match cover 3 to vertical routes. I'm going to illustrate this in the Madden practice mode here as well. We'll call, I guess I don't have it in base. Okay, I have it in nickel. We're just going to call a play with some vertical routes. This will work fine. Okay. We're going to pretend that this player here, Witherspoon, is a linebacker. So our strong safety here, he has a seam flat designation. And in true rip liz, both these players would. So if the slot receiver runs a vertical, if the tight end runs a vertical, they have the freedom to play those routes in man-to-man coverage. But if 83 runs a shallow, if number 1 runs a shallow, they'll get an undercall from the corners to basically just zone off. And of course the computer is gonna snap it when I didn't want it to. But yeah, if they get an undercall from those corners, they'll just zone off, right? But the Seahawks run their rip liz a little bit differently, in that only this player is responsible for matching vertical routes from the slot. The linebacker, which we're pretending that this player is a linebacker, he is playing true zone. He is playing true country cover 3 zone. So this player, if there's a vertical from number 15, he'll probably chuck him and then it's up to the corner and the safety, the deep defenders, to handle that. And so the safety will handle this because he will cheat to the side of this slot formation. So it'll essentially play out kind of like quarters in the sense that the safety is capping the vertical of the slot and your strong safety is capping the vertical of the tight end. So it's basically a way of kind of playing man coverage on the fly here. But I think personally it's a smarter way of doing this because it helps you not get mismatches that you would get in true Ripley's cover 3, where this guy's playing a true post safety role and this guy has to match vertically. If this guy was a linebacker, that'd be a mismatch, right? That's a speed mismatch in the slot. But we can alleviate that mismatch by having the free safety cheat to his side. And so that's the gist with how they run their Ripley's match cover 3. Next, we're going to get into base personnel defense and some of the plays that they run. All right, so this first play we're going to go over is over zone Y Boston. This is basically just country cover 3 in a 4-3 over stack front, as you can see in the clip here. It's an 8-man box. And to set this up in Madden, it's just super easy. You're going to call 4-3 over, cover 3 sky, and there you have it. This next play is Cheatstone Berkeley Reno. This is basically just cover 3 that checks into Reno versus certain formations. Don't worry about what Reno is for now. I'll dive into that later. I have a segment on that. But for now, I'm going to show the alignment for the cover 3 here. This is in the over walk front. And in Madden, you're gonna call your 4-3 over walk front, and you just pick cover 3 sky, and that's it for Cheatstone Berkeley Reno. Next up is Deuce Stone Boston. This is a defense for 22 personnel compression sets. For bunch type formations, it's going to play cloud coverage to the bunch side. So it's cover 3 cloud from the overwalk front. And then for normal spacing, it'll check into cover 3 sky. And the clip I'm going to show here in just a bit is really nice because it shows the defense checking from cloud coverage to a bunch set into cover 3 sky in response to motion, as you can see here. Defense is in cloud coverage, and then it checks into sky. And to set this up in Madden, it's going to be super easy. We're in our 4-3 over walk front. You just call cover 3 cloud. And that's the coverage for bunch sets. I'm going to check the offense into a compression set. And we'll just call cover 3 sky. I'm going to flip the play because it looks like the offense did as well. And now we're in cover 3 sky. So that's it for Deuce Stone Boston. Okay, this next play is Cheatstone Boston Blue. This is a cover 3 from the tough front. It plays cover 3 to pro sets, and it checks into cover 2 to slot sets and trip sets. Now, unfortunately, we can't simulate this cover 2 from the tough front in Madden. It's just too hard to set up. But that's actually not a big deal because I never, in all of the 16 games from the 2013 season that I watched, I never actually saw them play cover 2 from this front. So we'll just go over the cover 3 as you can see in this play. And to simulate this in Madden, we're in the overwalk front once again. You're just going to call it cover 3. And then to create the tough front, you're just going to grab your strong safety and bring him down into the box. That's it for Cheatstone Boston Blue. All right, next we have Pirate Load Oakland. This is cover 3 sky from the solid front. As you can see, the one tech is away from the run strength. To set this up in Madden, it's going to be super easy. We're just going to call 4-3 over solid. Just pick cover 3 sky. And that is Pirate Load Oakland. Next is Tough Buzz Zone. This play is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's cover 3 buzz out of the tough front. In this clip here, you can see Earl Thomas rotating into a hook zone. Now, this play is going to be probably the most adjustment heavy. We're going to be in our overwalk front, and we're going to call a cover 4 shell. And then you're going to want to put your Sam linebacker in a flat zone, then move him into a tough alignment. And then you're going to have to use the strong safety, and you're going to play a hook zone with this guy. Even though it looks like there's 2 flat defenders on the field, the quickest way to do this is just to use this guy in a hook zone as a buzz safety. So that is Tough Buzz Zone. Next is Rock Yakima. This is cover 3 from a 4-3 under front. As you can see, the one tech is to the run strength. And to set this up in Madden, I'm going to call 4-3 under cover 3 sky. That is Rock Yakima. All right, this last play from the base personnel cover 3 family is one that is not in the playbook, but it's a drop 8 cover 3 zone from the jam front. The will is going to drop into a flat zone, and your Sam is going to be in the strong hook there. And in Madden, it's going to be super simple to set up. You're just going to call 3-4 odd, call cover 3 sky. And then you're going to go to your D-line adjustments and then just put the blitzing edge player in a hook zone. So only your 3 interior linemen are rushing. And that is your jam front drop 8. All right, the first play of our base personnel split field defenses is going to be under zone X. It plays cover 3 to most base personnel offensive formations, but to certain sets like I slot, pair slot, etc., it checks into cover 6, as you can see here. Defense is in cover 6 right now. And that receiver motions and it checks into cover 3. And to set this up in Madden, it's going to be pretty straightforward, but you might need to play around with it a little bit. I find that the underfront in 3-4 personnel, when you call it, sometimes it aligns in an overfront, and you can't really fix the alignment sometimes. And the reason we're in 3-4 personnel in the first place is because there just isn't a cover 6 play in 4-3 personnel. So we're going to use 3-4 over front to achieve this. Just going to call your cover 6. And then you're going to flip the play because we want the Tampa 2 to the run strength. And now we're in cover 6. And then if the offense checks into pro like they did, you can just audible into cover 3 sky. And that's it for under zone X. This next play is Rock 6. This is cover 6 out of an underfront. It plays cover 6 to just about every formation. As you can see here, there's a trips defense, cloud coverage to the solo receiver there. And in Madden, for pro sets, you're just going to want to call your 3-4 under, cover 6, and it'll align properly to pro sets. And to more spread sets, you'll want to actually call your 4-3 over front. If I can call a spread set here. There's your cover 6 for spread sets. That is rock 6. Next up is Reno coverage. This is a split field defense of cover 1 and palms. It plays cover 1 to the compression end of offensive formations, and it plays palms to slot sets, as you can see here. Playing palms to the stack and straight man-to-man on those tight ends. And in Madden, this is pretty easy to set up. Now, unfortunately, we can't play Reno in base personnel, which is where it's actually run in real life, but we can run it in nickel. So you're going to want to call cover 6 Willie, and then you're just going to change your strong safety into an inside third. So we're playing cover 1 to the compression end, and we're playing palms to the slot there. That's Reno coverage. This next play is cover 9. This is how Reno plays to bunch sets and stacks. As you can see in the route distributions here, the corner is trapping the out. He's trapping the back to the flat. You're going to see the same thing here in this clip. In a second here, it'll show the sky cam angle, and you can kind of see the coverage. Straight man-to-man on the backside. You can see I'm playing cover 9 here. The corner's trapping the flat. All right, and in Madden, it's going to be super simple. We're just going to call cover 6 from our over front. And then we're just going to flip the play. So now we've got cloud coverage to the strong side. Optionally, you can shift the D line, and it'll put you back in an over front. So that's cover 9. Next, we have over 2 LA. This is just straight up Tampa 2, as you can see here. Hook zones make a tackle. In Madden, we're just going to be in our 4-3 over front. We're just going to call Tampa 2. That's it for over 2 LA. All right, this next play is over 4. This is just a quarters defense. So you can see all corners and safeties are man matching deep. It'll show the sky cam view here in a second. Strong safety and corner are both man matching their receivers. And in Madden, we're just going to be in our 4-3 over front. We're just going to call cover 4 quarters. And there you have it for over 4. All right, now we are on to man coverage. This play is called over 1Y, and it's just straight up cover 1 with the Mike linebacker in a hook zone. Just man coverage across the board. And to set this up in Madden, you're just going to hop into your 4-3 over front. Just call cover 1 hole. There you have it for over 1Y. This play is called under 1 flex. It is cover 1 hole, once again, just like the last play. Only difference is it's in an under front. You'll notice the backer assigned to the running back. He'll key his release and zone off if he doesn't run a route. In Madden, we're just going to be in our 4-3 under front. We'll just call cover one hole. That's under one flex. All right, this is the last of the man coverage plays. This is called cheat stone 1Y bump. It's just cover one hole out of the tough front. You'll notice the Sam linebacker drops into a hook zone. And in Madden, we're just going to be on our overwalk front. We'll just call cover one hole. And that is it for cheat stone 1Y bump. All right, now we are on to the base personnel cover 3 pressures. This first one is going to be a weak side backer blitz out of an over front. It's called over freeze 3 seam. You'll notice the will backer blitz here. And in Madden, we're just going to be in our 4-3 over front. You're going to put the defense into a cover 4 shell. We'll just call cover 3 sky. Going to blitz the weak side backer, move him over a bit. We're going to put the strong safety in a deep third. You're going to use this player as a hook zone / flat defender. We're playing buzz to the weak side here. That is over freeze 3 seam. All right, this play is tough whopper 3 palms. This is a strong side cover 3 pressure that checks in to a palms pressure due to certain sets. The palms pressure takes too many adjustments to set up, so we're not going to cover that, but I will show the cover 3 pressure here. Sam backer's going to blitz. And in Madden, we're going to be in the walk front once again. We're going to call cover 3 sky. You want to make sure your cover 4 shell is on. We're going to blitz Sam backer, align him here. Then we're going to use the strong safety in a hook zone. That's it for tough whopper 3 palms. This pressure is jam freeze 3 seam. This is a pressure from the odd front. Everybody on the line is going to blitz. There's 3 underneath zones. In Madden, we are going to be in the odd front. You're going to make sure you have your cover 4 shell on. Going to call 3-4 odd, cover 3 sky. Blitz everybody on the line, make sure they're all rushing. And then you're going to use the strong safety. That's it for jam freeze 3 seam. Next we have strong smash sky zone. This is an overload pressure from an underfront, cover 3 of course. The Mike and Sam backers are going to rush here. There's 3 hook zones. And in Madden, we are going to be in our 4-3 underfront. We're going to put the cover 4 shell on and then call the play Mike Sam crash press. I like to shade up, and then I would use the buzz safety, and then you're set. That is strong smash sky zone. All right, next we have jam flash 3 seam. This is a Mike linebacker pressure from the odd front. And in Madden, we're going to be in our 3-4 odd front. You want to make sure you have the cover 4 shell on. And we're going to call the play Will Buck 3 press. And I like to shade up and use the buzz safety here. That is jam flash 3 seam. Here we have strong gut cross 3 buzz. This is a Mike and Will pressure from an underfront. Both edges are going to zone. And in Madden, we are going to be in our 3-4 underfront. you're going to want to call the play MLB Crossfire 3 and make sure you have your cover 4 shell on. And then you're just going to shade up and use the strong safety in a hook zone. That is it for strong gut cross 3 buzz. All right, here we have strong slasher Ranger 3 palms. This is going to be an inverted cover 2 pressure out of an underfront. Now, we can't quite recreate this pressure in Madden. It would take too many adjustments, but we can make basically an equivalent pressure, which I'll show here in a bit. Watch Richard Sherman on this play. He's going to bail to a deep half right at the snap. The other corner's obviously trapping the flat. And in Madden, we're going to be in our 4-3 underfront. We will call cover 2 invert. And we're going to take the Sam linebacker and rush him. And then we're going to use the Mike linebacker and play in a hook zone here. We are not mid read. Let me make that clear. That's it for strong slasher 3 palms. All right, the next pressure is Chester Sam 1Y bump. This is a cover 1 pressure out of an overfront. The weak side backer is going to rush. Watch the backer by the slot here. In Madden, we are going to be in our 3-4 overfront. We're going to call the play Saw Blitz 1. And there you have it for Chester 1Y bump. The next base personnel pressure we have is a 3-4 odd man coverage pressure. All of the backers on the line of scrimmage are going to rush. And it's just man coverage behind. In Madden, we're going to be in our 3-4 odd front. And we're going to call the play Saw Blitz 1. And there you have it. The last base personnel play we're going to cover is under Sam 1Y bump. This is a cover 1 pressure from an underfront. Just man coverage behind. In Madden, we are going to be in our 4-3 underfront, and we're going to call the play cover 1 slant crash. And that is Sam 1Y bump. All right, the first play of nickel personnel is just cover 3 sky. And in Madden, it is as easy as that. Just going to call cover 3 sky out of nickel over. There you have it for that one. The next nickel personnel play we have here is cover 3 buzz. The weak side safety is going to buzz in a hook zone. In Madden, we're just going to call cover 3 buzz match weak in a cover 4 shell. And this is just pure zone drop. There's multiple ways to achieve this. I like to just shade up. You can also adjust zone depth and coaching adjustment for the flat zones. You might even be able to do this just for the hook zones. I haven't tried it, but there's multiple ways to achieve pure zone drop coverage for this. But that's the gist for cover 3 buzz. Next, we have a version of cover 3 buzz where the flat defender is buzzing from depth. I've heard Cody Alexander call this thumbs before. I'm not sure what the official name is. But in Madden, we can achieve this fairly easily. We'll just call a cover 4 shell in nickel over, and we'll call cover 3 sky. And that's it for that one. Next, we have cover 3 with a strong side safety rotation. Strong safety is rotating into the hook zone. In Madden, we're just going to call the play cover 3 Buzz Mabel in nickel over with a cover 4 shell. Then we'll just shade up to get pure zone drop. And I would use this strong safety. That's it for cover 3 Buzz strong. Next, we have our cover 3 match. The strong safety is matching the vertical release of the tight end. In Madden, we set this up by calling cover 3 match and then put the nickel in a hard flat or curl flat, and then user the post safety and favor the side of the slot if 14 releases vertically. This next play is an alteration of the nickel cover 3 buzz. The one tech will drop into a hook zone. So this is drop 8. In Madden, we'll just be in our nickel over. With the cover 4 shell, we call cover 3 buzz match. I'll just shade up, and then you can put the put the one tech in a hook zone, or you can put him in a QB spy. I like to spy him. That's it for the cover 3 drop 8. This next play is Tampa 2. You can tell by the depth of the Mike linebacker. In Madden, we're just going to call Tampa 2 from nickel over. No adjustments necessary. This next play is cover 2 drop 8. The one tech is going to drop into a hook zone. In Madden, there's a stock play that comes like this called cover 2 contain in the nickel over G formation. And there are no adjustments necessary. Here we have cover 6. Richard Sherman is in a deep half. Quarters to the top there. And Madden, just going to be in your nickel over front. Just going to call cover 6. Here we have cover 9. Cover 2 to the bunch. And press man to the bottom. In Madden, we're just going to be in our nickel over front. We're going to call the play cover 9 show 2. And you're set as is. If you want to play pure zone drop, you can just shade up. I like to put the strong safety in an inside third. And then you're set for a pure zone drop, cover 9. This next play is quarters. Earl Thomas is the poach safety, and he's able to chase the shallow here because the formation naturally out-leverages the corner. In Madden, we'll just call the play quarters from nickel over. It naturally plays box check to the bunch like they did in that play without any adjustments. And I like to use this safety. You can usually, find work either with a receiver from the bunch coming across, or if that receiver on the solo side runs a shallow and goes fast inside, you can help out on that as well. So that's quarters. Here we have what looks like palms. At the top of the screen, the corner Browner is going to read the release of the slot and almost breaks up the pass. In Madden, We'll just call the play cover 4 palms from nickel over. No adjustments are necessary. It automatically plays 2 read on the slot. This next play is just cover 1 hole. Mike linebacker in a hook zone. Everyone else in man coverage. In Madden, we'll just be in our nickel over front again. We're going to call the play cover 1 hole. Pretty straightforward. Next we have cover 2 man. It's just man coverage underneath with 2 deep safeties. And Madden, just going to call the play cover 2 man from nickel over. The underneath defenders are automatically shaded inside and underneath, so no adjustments necessary for this. Next we have cover 1 robber. Strong safety is going to drop into a hook zone here. In Madden, just going to call the play cover 1 robber press in nickel over. I like to manually shade the slot defenders outside. You don't have to do this, but I find that it plays true to the leverage better because you want them to be outside leverage where there's help in the middle with the robber. That's it for cover 1 robber. This next play is what I believe is 1 double. Strong safety appeared to be doubling the slot. And in Madden, this play is actually stock. There's a stock play called 1 double slot in nickel over, and it will naturally align kind of in a palms cover 4 look. And the strong safety is doubling the slot receiver by default. So no adjustments necessary. This next play is cover 2 man with a spy. The 1 tech drops into a spy on this play. In Madden, we can easily set this up. We'll just call cover 2 man from the nickel over front. And then you just use the D-line adjustments and put the defensive tackle on a spy. That's cover 2 man, drop 8. All right, now we are going to get into some nickel pressures. This first play is a cover 3 sim pressure. Backer's going to blitz, and nose tackle's going to replace him. In Madden, this is a very easy setup. We're just going to call cover 3 sky from nickel over, and you're going to blitz the weak side backer and replace him with the defensive tackle on his side. So it should look like this. That is the cover 3 sim pressure. Next we have a cover 3 buzz interior pressure. Both backers are going to blitz, and the defensive tackle is going to drop out, and strong safety is buzzing from depth. In Madden, this is a surprisingly easy setup. We're just going to call cover 3 sky in a cover 4 shell in the nickel over front. They're going to hit the D-pad right once, and then you're going to hit blitz all for backers. And then you're going to take your 1 tech, 3 tech, doesn't really matter, put them in a hook zone, and then use this buzz safety. So that is the cover 3 buzz backer blitz. All right, here we have a will linebacker pressure out of cover 3 buzz. In Madden, we're going to be in our nickel over front, put a cover 4 shell on. We're going to call cover 3 buzz match weak. I like to just shade up, and then you're going to want to blitz the backer in the curl flat zone. And then you're going to use the buzz safety. Here we have a nickel pressure out of cover 3 buzz. The nickel defensive back is blitzing from the weak side of the offensive formation. In Madden, we are going to be in the nickel over front. Make sure you have a cover 4 shell on, and then we're going to call the play edge blitz 3. By default, the defensive back is going to pressure from the strong side of the offensive formation. And to fix that, we're just going to flip the play. Then I like to just shade up. Then you're going to use the buzz safety. That's it for edge blitz 3. Next up, we have an overload pressure out of cover 3. The strong safety and nickel are pressuring from the strong side, and the weak side defensive end is zoning off. In Madden, we can run an equivalent pressure with the nickel and the linebacker. We're going to have our cover 4 shell on in the nickel over front. We're going to find the play overload 3 seam. And then you can just shade up, and then you're already good to go. That is overload 3 seam. Next, we have a field side nickel pressure out of cover 3 buzz. The nickel defensive back is blitzing from the strong side of the offensive formation. In Madden, there's a stock play for this. We're going to be in the nickel over front in our cover 4 shell, and you're going to call the play nickel blitz 3. You can shade up, and you're already good to go. I like to use the buzz safety. That is nickel blitz 3. Here we have an overload pressure out of cover 2. This is basically the same 2 invert pressure that they run in base personnel, where the linebacker and strong safety pressure from the front side, and the weak side end zones out. In Madden, we can't quite replicate this the same way. It would take too many adjustments, but we can call an equivalent pressure. Make sure your cover 3 shell is on, and call the play nickel 2 trap from nickel over. I like to shade up to play straight zone, and then I would use the linebacker nearest the blitzing defensive back. That is nickel 2 trap. Next we have a cover 1 linebacker blitz. The will rushes and it opens up that running lane. In Madden, there's a stock play called cover 1 linebacker blitz. We'll just call this. And for spread formations like this, I like to manually route commit everybody inside. For tight formations, it might be wiser just to leave it stock. But this ensures that all the defenders have proper leverage. This next play is cover 0. The strong safety keys the tight end and rushes. In Madden, there's a stock play called Overstorm Brave in the nickel over front. We're just going to call that. And that is cover 0. This play is also cover 0, except the will and nickel pressure off the edge. In Madden, there is a stock play called edge blitz 0 that naturally aligns like this. The will and nickel will pressure off the edge. We are now into dime personnel. This first play is just cover 2 man. In Madden, we're going to be in the dime normal front, and we're just going to call the play cover 2 man. Next we have cover 1 robber out of dime with a 4-man front. In Madden, we're in our dime normal package again. We're just going to call cover 1 robber press. There's 1 robber. This next play is cover 3 buzz from 4-1 dime personnel. In Madden, we're going to be in the dime normal package. In a cover 4 shell, we're going to call cover 3 buzz press. And you're going to want to flip the play so that we have a weak side hook rotation. This next play is a drop 8 cover 3 buzz from 4-1 dime personnel. The 1 tech zones off. In Madden, the setup is going to be very similar to before. We're going to be in a cover 4 shell in the dime normal package using the play cover 3 buzz press. We're going to flip the play so there's weak side hook rotation, and we will put the 1 tech in a hook curl. This next play is quarters, poach safeties, reading 3-1. In Madden, we're going to be in the dime normal package, and we're just going to call quarters. No adjustments necessary. This play is cover 0, the nickel and dime corners rush. And in Madden, we're just going to call this stock play DB blitz 0 out of dime normal. Next we have cover 2 man out of dime 3-2 personnel. In Madden, we're going to be in the 3-2 dime front. We'll just call the play cover 2 man. No adjustments here. Next we have cover 1 robber out of dime 3-2. In Madden, just going to call the play cover 1 robber press. And optionally, you can put this other linebacker in a spy like he did in that clip. This play is cover 2 drop 8. It's cloud coverage to the top of the screen. In Madden, we're just going to call Tampa 2 drop from dime 3-2. And I like to just shade up so it's straight zone drop coverage. All right, and the final play is cover 3 buzz from 3-2 dime. In Madden, we're going to be in a cover 4 shell in the 3-2 dime package. And we're just going to call cover 3 buzz match, shade up, and put this backer in a spy. And that is cover 3 buzz. I want to finish this video just by saying thank you to everyone who watched till the end. I know it's a pretty long video with a lot of repetitious information, so I appreciate everybody who watched till the end. With that said, my name is Wheeler, and I will see you in the next one.